Please raise your right hand and be sworn back. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Just have a seat. Once you're seated, be sure and speak into the microphone. The witness rule is in effect. That means you can only be in the courtroom during your own testimony. It also means you can't speak with anyone about the case till the trial is over. The exception to the rule is you may speak with the attorneys, either members of the district attorney's staff or the public defender's staff. If a witness violates the rule, then his or her testimony is subject to being stricken from the record. Okay, you may proceed.
Barbara Jean Hales,
Where do you reside?
2209 and a half Toluner Lane.
You know where the address is?
Yes.
Yes, I'm showing you the previously marked as State's Exhibit 1. This is a map of the area, Wichita Falls. And this right here, this house marked right here, you see Toluner Lane. This is 2207 Toluner Lane. Can you point out for us, please, where your house is located? Okay, this house right here, along this back corner.
Yes, there's an alley that goes beside the 207, and my house is along that alley. And it's parallel to Sunset.
Okay. Back up here, so. All right. Ms. Hales, how long have you lived there?
Since December 2007.
You were living there on April 24th, 2010?
Yes.
Ms. Hales, do you know Brittany Wetzel?
Yes.
How do you know Brittany?
She was my neighbor.
Do you know her well?
Just to see her in passing.
How long did you know her on April 24th, 2010?
Just to know her in passing.
You know her name?
Yes, ma'am.
And leave up to your house of the yard at 2207 Toluner?
Yes.
Is that the vantage point that you had on April 24th, 2010? Did you see something unusual?
Yes.
What did you see?
I had heard loud voices coming from that area, and as I was looking up the alley, I saw a woman running toward 20207 from out of the area that is covered by the tree and the brick wall. And then a man came from behind and grabbed her and drug her back up the street.
Did you recognize the woman that you saw?
Not at that time.
Okay. What did the man who was doing the dragging from?
I could just tell that he was a black man, and that was about it. And when I saw her get grabbed, though, I headed up the alley, and after I had got to the end of the alley, then I realized that it was my neighbor being grabbed, and by then she had got loose.
When you say your name, are you referring to where you live?
Yes.
What did you see next?
After she had gotten loose, the man that had grabbed her was going towards Sunset, which would be going toward that direction. And there was another man in front of him that was also leaving the scene.
When you saw the man grab Ms. Wetzel, did it seem like she was participating in the fight?
No, it looked like she was trying to escape. And it appeared to me that she had run and then was being dragged against her will back up the street.
Did you see her put her hands on the man individually?
No.
What decision did you make after you saw Natalie and Sunset?
Well, by the time I had gotten up to the end of the alley and she had got loose from him and he was leaving, there were other neighbors in the area, two of which lived across the street from her, and one of them was calling 911. And also then another man across from that side of the street came out, and he and I had decided that we would go and drive around the neighborhood to see where those men had gone so that we could give their location to the police since 911 had been called.
Did you feel that Ms. Wetzel was in danger?
Yes, very much so.
Why did you think that?
Well, it had seemed to be a loud disturbance, and the fact that she had tried to escape and then been drugged back down the street and then had managed to escape again indicated to me that, you know, she was being assaulted.
At any point did you see either the two men or Ms. Wetzel and she went to look for them?
I did, after a point, I went back down, got my car, and drove the neighborhood and came upon, I saw people fleeing, running toward an area, and when I drove up to that area, I found Miss Wetzel was out in the middle of a yard, and a man was on the ground, and the other man that had been in the area was standing in that same vicinity.
How did Ms. Wetzel appear to you about them?
She seemed extremely distraught and hysterical.
Did she say anything to you?
She was mainly just being hysterical and when seemed in distress that the man on the ground was injured, but it was mostly just hysterical screaming.
Mr. Gillespie?
Judge, so we've had a couple weeks ago with the officer.
Yes,
If I ask you questions, you understand, would you let me know as far as the verdict?
yes.
First off, you told me one minute that you had a proof of Rick Wetzel's house from your house, is that correct?
I don't recall saying I have a clear view of her house. I have a clear view of part of the house.
But you didn't have a clear view of her house.
I don't recall saying I did not have a clear view of her house.
You don't know Genevieve or Cal, or you didn't know?
No, I do not.
And you didn't have much contact with Rick Wetzel.
No,
In fact, and you told me that you rarely see her before, correct?
right,
And you've never seen any violence at her house,
right.
and you've never heard any disturbances from her house.
That's correct.
You were outside getting ready to mow the lawn.
I was getting ready to get gas so I could mow my yard.
And you heard loud screaming and yelling, correct?
Yes,
And All right, now, the male that you said Bradford Wetzel, you couldn't tell his age,
No,
you couldn't identify him,
no,
you couldn't pick an Alabama.
no.
If there were two white males there, you couldn't distinguish between two complexion right?
Well, except that their complexions were different and one was taller and older than the other.
But you told me you couldn't tell his age or pick out who it was, correct?
Right.
All right, and then you covered the roll across the street, and you can identify Stacy Flores,
Yes,
and Brittany wasn't in the house, is that correct?
yes,
And the two males leave on foot, right?
yes.
Now, at what point did Brittany come to you and ask you for help?
She didn't actually, at that point, come. It was whenever I came on the scene.
Okay, I'm talking about at the scene at your house, at what point did Brittany come to you and ask you for help?
She didn't.
And did she ask you to stay with her till the police got there?
No,
Did she ask you to go with her to the police department?
no,
Did she ask for your help at all?
no. We did not speak whatsoever.
In fact, when she came out of the house and got out of that car, you tried to calm her down, but she left, correct?
Well, both the women across the street and I did say to her that it'd be better for her not to drive, probably.
You tried to stop her when she looked upset and she didn't want your help, did she?
I don't even know if she'd heard us.
But your husband knows she looked upset when she left that car.
Yes,
Did you see her have her children with her when she got into the car?
no,
Did you see her throw her kids' car seats in the car before she left?
no,
Now, one of the ladies across the street saw Brittany attack Eric in the street. Did you see that?
no.
Your line of vision did not permit you to see that, correct?
Now, most of the activity was obscured by those trees and that brick wall.
Right. And you told me when we met that you had no context for what was happening, correct?
Right.
You don't know at all what started that,
No,
and there were big chunks of it that you didn't see. For example, Brittany jumping in the street to attack Eric's pal.
I was unaware of anything except as what I described.
All right, once you get to the scene where Brittany is running the guy down, she was saying to you, my kids are in the car, wasn't she?
Yes,
And you went and stayed with her children.
yes,
So about a 2-year-old and a baby, correct?
yes,
And they were in the car.
yes.
And what was your reaction when you saw that her children were in her car when she ran down there in town?
Well, that the children were in the car, I was surprised.
In fact, the words that you used to me when we talked was that you were horrified the children in the car, correct?
Yes,
And that's a true statement.
yes.
That's the witness.
Anything else, Ms. Bella?
Ms. Hanson said that you saw two black men, one was taller and older, and one was younger, is that correct?
Yes,
The one that was grabbing Ricky Hudson by the hair was the younger one?
yes.
How's that sound?
Ms. Hells, you met with me on this day of quarantine.
Yes,
And you told us that you did not become engaged in the person that attacked her, correct?
right.
That's the witness.
Ms. Hanson may not have been able to tell the exact age, because you could tell the difference between two men.
Yes, yes,
That's the
Ms. Helms, in fact, your direct words to me when you met us at the office was, look, you couldn't see the guy, that it was a black male, that you couldn't tell his age because he had a very young, is that correct?
well, but in reference, yes,
That's my question.
yes.
That's the witness.
Well, when you put it in context of two different individuals that are walking in the same direction, there is an obvious difference between the two men as far as their height and age. Yes. Right, there was two men there, and it was obvious that there was one man that had been assaulting Brittany, and there was another man that was just there. I could tell the difference between those two men. No, it was someone fleeing and someone dragging them back forcibly up the street. That's, to me, not a scuffle.
Ms. Hills, I want to know why we got in the DA's office, you know the prosecutor, correct?
Yes,
And you know I had my investigator, correct?
yes,
And you know I was trying to get information about the trial, correct?
yes.
And I was asking you about the male that you saw that was assaulting her. Your words to me were you didn't see the guy, he was a black male and you didn't know his age.
Yes,
You didn't say, there were two guys there and I know which one of the two it was.
you didn't ask me.
And I asked you to describe which one he was, and you didn't do that, correct?
Well, if there was some miscommunication, I apologize, but in context of the two men that were on the scene, it was obviously one or the other. And
But you didn't volunteer any of that information to the police or to me, correct?
I don't recall.
Now, the children, were they left in their car seats when they got to the scene?
Yes, but the boy was able to undo his, and he actually, during the time I was there, he got out of his car seat and was actually, tending to his sister and kind of playing around.
So he's loose in the car when you got there.
He got out while I was there.
Man, have you ever run over something in the road?
No.
Have you ever hit a car though?
Yes,
And did you feel that in the car?
yes.
As a witness?
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Next witness. Sure. Raise your right hand and be sworn, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Just have a seat. Once you're seated, be sure and speak into the microphone. Sir, the witness rule has been invoked. That means you can't be in the courtroom except during your own testimony. It also means you can't speak about the case with anyone other than the lawyers till the trial's over. If a witness violates the rule, his or her testimony may be stricken from the record. You may proceed.
Public safety dispatcher.
Could you move up to the microphone, please?
I'm a public safety dispatcher at Wichita Falls Police Department. Yes.
Sure. What's it say? Thank you, sir. You may step down. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me give you about a 10-minute recess. I need to take up a matter with counsel. While you're in the hallway, don't discuss the case, don't form or express